Of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home to the foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we're back.
You see the light?
I see the light. That's that light.
That's not a good topic to say after Wife's funeral.
I know.
Hey, but at least I get to be less depressing than your last guest, who was phenomenal, by the way.
He was, right?
Really.
Let's
So now
welcome
introduce our next guest.
Gil Bilu.
From Bilu and Bilu.
Which one are you?
I'm Bilu.
Okay, so want to make sure
I'm older.
I'm not Bilu.
that's your brother.
My cousin,
Your
actually.
cousin?
First cousins.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So our phone number here, if you have a question about foreclosure, God, what a sad subject.
Well, it's not
But
sad if you have Gil Bilu handling your case.
And we're going to talk about why you should not do this yourself, because you've
Ever.
tried to do that.
Yes.
Okay. So call us here at 888-565-1470 if you have a question. And it's last week we just got barraged with questions about elder law. So today we're going to talk about foreclosure.
And most of your practice is devoted to foreclosure defense. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Probably about 65% of our practice right now is foreclosure defense. It's still a big field. Some of the filings have been slowing down, but the cases are still there. You've got an older case. We want to look at it. I'll tell you, it's if you've got a case, especially 2010 and earlier, that still isn't resolved, there's a reason. Part of the reason is that the bank doesn't have its documents together, doesn't have its paperwork in order. And what will happen is, the courts are pushing these cases to trial right now. They're pushing them through. There's a mandate from the Florida Supreme Court for the state courts to get rid of 256,000.
And why are they doing this all of a sudden?
Why? Look, it's backing up the court system. There's no question about it.
No, but it has been for a while. So now, what's the push all of a sudden?
They want to get it out. It's becoming.
Get you out of your house?
That's what can happen. That can. But here's the thing. Resolution can go either way. Resolution can go for the bank. Resolution can go for the homeowner. And we know that we're in an uphill battle for the homeowner unless you paid your mortgage, which is one out of every 10,000 cases where the bank just didn't apply payments.
And just because you haven't paid your mortgage doesn't mean that you're going to be losing your home. And people are unaware of that. That's why they need to contact you.
I'll tell you what. Now, I have cases. I actually 2 cases since I was on the last show. One was a 2009 case. One was a 2010 case. Now, I walked into court, all right, and I knew I had a winner. One of them had offered my client.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Oh.
One of them had offered my client $2,000. I said, not even close. It came up to $3,000. I still said, not even close. They're like, what does your client want? When they ask that question,
you know that you're in good shape.
I know that I'm winning.
Yes.
So I threw an outlandish offer at them, and they, of course, rejected it. And I show up to court, and I run into the attorney, and he goes, yeah, I guess you figured we're dismissing the case today. I said, I had no question you were dismissing the case today. So I put in an offer I knew you wouldn't accept.
Wow. I also want to mention, if you want to watch today's show.
Right now, yes.
Yes, you can go to www.bilulaw.com.
Spell
That's
it.
BILU law.com.
And I want to say one other thing, because Gil can't say this, but I can. When we have our experts on the show, there is a reason why that they are here. And Listen,
Because they're top in the field.
exactly.
And this is who you need to contact.
And you do not want to try doing this yourself.
Well, I've gone through this process. I mentioned this to you a couple of shows ago, that I wasn't sure if I want to short sale my house or go for a foreclosure. And I definitely should have contacted an attorney, because I ended up having the deficiency
Right.
that was not signed off for. And thank God that, the time has elapsed. So,
Right. You got stuck with that deficiency,
Yes.
and I know we fight on all our short sales to get that deficiency waived. One thing I just wanted to get right back to, if you've got a 2009, 2010 case, even if you have an attorney, and that attorney's pushing you to settle the case, have it reviewed. There are a lot of attorneys that got into the game back then that really were never looking to go to trial. Well, we are. And I love taking those cases to trial, because the older the case, generally the better chance we've got to take it.
and just because you're with an attorney doesn't mean you have to stick with them. You can call
Absolutely.
your law firm.
You have free choice to do it. I'm not looking to take money out of anybody's pocket. I'm looking to help my clients.
But you're a litigator, though.
I'm a litigator.
So it's not just about someone's
That's what
got
you need.
You need a litigator, because you might have to go to court.
Here's what's going to happen. If you've got a 2009, 2010 case that falls into that category that the bank doesn't think they can make their case, if you're going into court by yourself, bank's not dismissing the case. They'll get you a couple $1,000. They'll waive the deficiency. They'll give you 120 days. You're going to walk out thinking you got a good deal. But if they can't build their case and they see that there's a good attorney on the other side, someone they know is not afraid to litigate a case, if I walk in with that same case and they make me that offer, I know to tell them this is not going anywhere.
It's not going to cut it.
And
Right.
a lot of time, I'll tell you, the last two trials that I had, 2 trials since I've been here, and I had, I think, 7 or 8 scheduled in that time period. 2 of them, I walked in, I said I knew I had a winner. I walk in, the bank dismisses the case, and they're not even going to bother trying it because they know they're going to lose. If you walk in there as a homeowner on your own, you're not going to get that same result. They know you don't know what to look for.
But explain what that means, because some people don't understand. Dismissing it meaning what?
Which means the case is over, we want a trial. Now, the bank, and we talked about this on the last show, the bank has the ability to come back and refile the case. But as a homeowner, if you're just looking to stay in
foreclose
the
the
house,
home, to foreclose the home.
foreclose again. Now,
Right.
if you're a homeowner just looking to stay in, obviously that's buying you a mountain of time and you're happy. Well, if you're looking at a 2009, 2010 case, which means you defaulted 5 or 6 years ago, I had less kids back then. That's how long ago it was, right? Well, you might want to save your house now. You might have gotten a job, you might have gotten a raise, you might have found the employment that you need. You might be able to get that loan modification now, but I'll tell you what, if you're staring down the barrel of a trial, or you're staring at 120 days before your sale date, there's a really good chance that the bank is going to look at your modification and go, you know what, it's not worth the effort, it's not worth the time, property values are going up, let's take the house, let's see what we can get for it at the foreclosure sale. Now, that equation totally switches if the case has been dismissed, either by me winning a trial and getting an involuntary dismissal where the judge rules in our favor, or the bank just walking in and going, you know what, we know we can't win it, we're not going to waste the time on it, right? Well, now you've got a much longer time period to start working on that resolution. So if you're looking at a short sale, and more importantly, if you're looking at a loan modification, you're looking to keep that house.
Right, so a lot of people want to keep the house. So the next process would be the loan modification, which is
the
what?
loan modification. So the way we work on a loan modification, and we do something that I think is different from a lot of firms, definitely different from what NACA does. I don't know if y'all remember NACA. They were a pseudo nonprofit that was trying to help people modify their loans, and I will tell you that they did help some people.
Right.
But they also gave terrible advice in a lot of respects. And here is the thing. There's one basic qualification for a loan modification, right? You look at the person's income, you take 31% of their gross monthly income or the gross household income, and that's what's supposed to determine the new mortgage payment if you're getting a loan modification. And that's going to include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
So what happens if you have a first mortgage and a second mortgage? Because when the homes were even worth more money, a lot of people got a second mortgage on their home if they
Right.
want to do like remodeling. So what happens if in that particular case?
Second mortgages are all over the place. So sometimes you can modify them if it's a high enough payment. The banks will look, and it's worth their while to modify. They'll look at doing it. I've had a lot of clients where the bank has actually just released the second mortgage under some of these mortgage settlement programs.
And can
It's
you
not
combine them?
happening.
Can you combine them together?
If you can get into what's called the HARP program, Home Affordability Refinance Program, which is part of the government making homes affordable program, yeah, you can. You're definitely able to do it as long as you can get both lenders to agree to a lower payoff. Now, the key to something like that, especially on a HARP program, is if they're both with the same lender. That makes it a lot easier.
Is that the one where they show Obama's picture all the time? They said, you're missing out. This is the way you can stay in your home, and it's
Because I know people that have told me that they tried to do that and they couldn't.
Well, this is where we get to the qualification part, right? And this is what that really big if. So now we look at 31% of your gross monthly income, and we come up with a number. So let's say your gross monthly income is $4,500 a month. 31% of that is approximately $1,700, $1,800. Now, this is where we take the second step that a lot of other places skip. I now look and I say, okay, what are the taxes on this property? What is about the average insurance bill for a property like this? And I look at that number. And now I say, okay, this is a hard cost that's going to be part of that 31% payment. If that leaves a significant amount of money going back to the bank on its loan, then we've got a good chance that the bank is going to modify the loan. If, however, that doesn't leave much over for the bank, there's no way the bank's going to approve that modification. So I had people that came to me and said, I went to NACA, and this is after I'm working on their modification. They took it in their own hands to go to NACA. They thought it wasn't going fast enough, whatever the situation was. So NACA said that my new mortgage payment is going to be $900. I said, great, do you realize that between taxes and insurance on your property, it costs you $750 a month? So with a $900 payment, what you're asking the bank to do is take $150 a month on your loan. It doesn't make financial sense for them. They're not going to do it. We need to talk realistically about another option, something else that you can do. Fight the foreclosure, work on a short sale, whatever. Get a new job. We can apply for a loan modification later. But we take that extra step because the last thing I want to do is waste my time and waste my staff's time working on a loan modification that we know is not going to go through. Because you know what that does? Worse than anything else, that takes time away from what my staff needs to spend on a file that can save a home.
Because there's a lot of people that are upside down with their houses.
Right.
So, they have no choice but to possibly foreclose. So they could come to you and find out if you could do a loan modification. You could actually do a consultation and tell them if it's worth their time to do.
As part of every consultation we do, one of there are a couple basic questions I ask. The first two, after how you doing, thanks for coming in, is what's the value of your property? How much do you owe? When's the last time you made a mortgage payment? Now we've got that picture to look at. Now I have to kind of put myself in the bank's shoes and say, okay, if we modify the loan, is this going to work? If the answer is yes, great, and someone wants to save their house, I love working on the modification. I'll tell you that right now the lenders are destaffing those departments. They're not getting the same government funds that they were to modify loans. I've spoken to several representatives.
So what does that mean for people trying to modify their loans?
That means that if you were on hold for 45 minutes a year ago, that you'll be on hold for an hour and a half now.
Aye. That's not good.
That's not good, and that's
why they come to you.
That's time that you're not out making the money that you need to pay that loan. That's why you need to hire a professional, or should hire a professional, to come in and take care of it. Also, look, I know how to package it to the bank, and I won't put anything that's a lie. I've had clients. I love this response from clients. Say, how much money do you make a month? I don't know. If I need the loan modification, how much money should I make?
Oh.
Really?
Oh my! Yeah, especially from people that own their that
have their own business. Yes.
And I say, look, if I tell the bank that you make $10,000 a month, and we get a loan modification approved for $7,000 a month, and you don't have that money for $3,000 a month, and you don't have that money to pay the bank, why did we bother getting the loan modification? It's not doing you any good. You paid me, so I can't say that you completely wasted my time. But it's a waste of time. Let's work on another option.
Exactly.
If your income goes up to something that'll actually work, great. If not, unfortunately, I have to be the voice of reality with some of my clients.
The voice of reason.
The voice of reason with some of my clients. Thank you. And I got to sit down with them and say, look, this is not going to work.
Let's go to
work on
break.
something else.
And we come back. I've got a question that just blew my mind that I read on your website. What judges are doing with these foreclosures, how they just want to just go through. It's really scary.
The rocket docket, the infamous rocket docket, absolutely.
So we'll have more with Gil Bilu of Bilu and Bilu Law when we come back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we are back with Gil Bilu.
I know, I keep asking him like a million questions. I'm barraging him with questions. Because listen, there's so many people out there that, are upside down because when the housing market, was doing really well, they were paying a lot of money, and now if you come in, if a bank comes in to appraise the house is so much less. So people are deciding whether they want to foreclose or short sale or do a loan modification, and this is why you need to go speak to Bilu and Bilu, because he can advise you on all areas, whether it's foreclosure, short sale, or loan modification. Give your phone number out, Gil.
954-596-0669. You can also visit us on the web, www.bilulaw.com. That's BILUlaw.com. Come check us out. Look at our qualifications.
I love going to your website.
We try to educate people.
There's so much information on there. And this is what I read, which blew me away. One of the judges had 93 cases.
That's
foreclosure
nothing.
cases. You know what she said? I want to get this done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
93 cases in 2 hours?
How could you possibly do that?
You know that Broward County, Monday through Friday, has a separate room set up just for foreclosure trials. And they schedule usually between 100 and 150 a day. Now, I'll tell you, out of those 150 cases, probably about 75% of them are no-shows.
People don't show up to defend themselves?
They don't even show up. They've done nothing. They have what's called an uncontested trial, which takes about 5 or 6 minutes.
So they just let the house go?
Basically, yeah, they've just given up hope. You have another, probably 23, 24% that are consent judgments, where you've made a deal with the bank, you're ready to leave the house, you're doing a short sale, or you just don't have a good case, which does happen. The bank will give you some cash for keys, they'll waive the deficiency, they'll give you extra time in the house, and for some people, that's the right decision. And then you have a couple of cases every day that you have good foreclosure defense attorneys that are coming in that are ready to try the cases. And those, I'll tell you the truth, I love taking the cases to trial when I have a good case. I enjoy it. It's fun. I was describing it to somebody else. I was like, look, I don't play sports. I'm not in a competitive league of any sort. I don't do fantasy.
But in this area, you're competitive.
I'm
and you want to win for your clients.
I'm a gladiator. Is the only
I love it. That's great.
I got a couple of attorneys now calling me gladiators.
No, I love that analogy. I think that's great.
The judges must really have a lot of respect for you because they see how you practice your law.
You know what? It's funny. I see other foreclosure defense attorneys that are they're zealots. They come in and they're railing and they're ranting, and some of them are excellent attorneys and do get good results for their clients. But you know what? They have targets on their backs from plaintiff's counsel. They have judges that just immediately bristle when they walk up. Now, I'm not that type of person. You see, I'm a friendly guy. I have wonderful professional relationships with judges, with the attorneys on the other side, because the fight's not with us. And if I lose respectfully. I will shake somebody's hand, even if a judge, especially, I taught this to my kids, when a judge rules against me, you know what the first words out of my mouth are?
Thank you.
Exactly. Because there's no need, because I'm going to be up in front of them another day, and I'm going to need them to make a decision in my client's favor where it's just a matter of their conscience, and they go, well, am I going to extend the sale date again, or am I not going to extend it again? And I don't want them to look at me and go like that terrible ingrate, that person with the bad attitude towards me. I'd rather smile, take my loss like a man, not to be sexist, and to come back and fight another day. And that's what I do.
But that judge who had the 93 cases, she actually told someone, don't let anybody slow this down today.
That's crazy.
This is
So
a
basically, you're
person's
going in
house.
there, she's just stamping the paperwork.
I know the judge
Unless you
you're
have an
talking
attorney,
about.
yes.
I know the judge you're talking about. I'm not going to say her name, but
I didn't either.
She's got a stamp that says no further cancellations, and she smiles every time she hits an order with it, which means
That's
I'm not going to
crazy.
cancel
That's
it.
unbelievable.
I don't agree, and you know what? Just because it's on the order doesn't mean that I'm not going to go in and try again if my client needs me to. There's a great saying. It's absolutely one of my favorites. A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer doesn't care. I'll go in and I zealously advocate for my clients, no matter what it is, as long as I'm coming in with the truth. I have clients that have said, hey, tell the judge that we're doing X, Y, and Z. So we're
But you're not
doing
going to do
X,
that
Y,
because
and Z.
you're honest, right?
No, I'm trading my political capital, and
Exactly.
it's not worth it for me. But these rocket dockets, they move fast. They're trying to close these cases. Is it overwhelmingly to the bank's favor? Yeah, it is.
So do you feel like the banks are pushing this?
No, the banks aren't. That's the problem. That's why they set up these rocket dockets. The banks weren't pushing the cases fast enough. And look, when it comes to somebody like me, I'm happy if my case languishes, right? My client's not in the house. My client's
Still
already
in the
house,
house,
not paying
yes.
the mortgage. The case takes forever. Hey, great.
They get
for
to
me.
live there forever,
But that's
right?
just a means to an end, because now push comes to shove. Now we're coming to trial, and either you're ready to go to trial or you're not. And I'm ready to go to trial.
Can I ask you a question? If you foreclose on a property, is there monies due, like a deficiency is in that as well? Because I know with short
Yeah.
sales there are. So is there monies
here's
owed?
what happens. So the bank gets a judgment for, let's say, $400,000, right?
Right.
You've got a property worth $200,000. It goes to sale. There's a bid for $200,000. Bank gets the money from that. They get the $200,000, give or take some of the court fees, and now you still owe the bank $200,000.
Can they come after you for that?
They can come after you. They have a year now to come back to the court and ask for a deficiency judgment. Once they've got that judgment, they can garnish your wages, they can take money out of your bank
Wow.
account. And if you've been defaulted in the case, if you didn't bother responding to the bank in the first place and just stuck your head in the sand, guess
could
what?
do that too.
You're not going to get notice of that judgment. If you actively defended your case and you still lost,
And then all of a sudden you'll have a garnishment on your salary.
Right.
That's crazy. That's why you
Absolutely.
have to be represented.
that's also why we do bankruptcies, because there are people that made that mistake and now all of a sudden don't have money to put food on the table. Well,
Right.
we'll go in and we'll wipe out that deficiency for them. That's
And
one of
does
the
that
things
go
we try to
hand in
do.
hand a lot of times?
It does. I'll say we've used it. I wouldn't say we use it as a tool to delay a sale, because that would be bordering on unethical. But if my client needs to file bankruptcy, I'm certainly going to time it in such a way that it gives them the maximum benefit. Because if we file the bankruptcy a day before that foreclosure sale stops. If
Interesting.
we file it a day after, too bad.
Where were you when I was going through my home sale?
You know what? We were still
I
learning
didn't-
about advertising.
I know.
It was word of mouth back then. Now it's Google.
And you
What
were practicing
counties-
back then.
What counties do you cover?
We cover all 67 counties. I've got coverage attorneys all over the state. And our main focus areas are Broward, Palm Beach. We'll do some Miami-Dade when it's a good case.
What about Martin County? We have a lot of listeners.
I'll take a Martin County. I'll take Port St. Louis. I'll take St. Lucie County. I don't mind. Like I said, a lot of those counties I can appear by phone when I need to. And I'll tell you what, if I need to drive up for a trial, I'll
Then you
drive
do
up for
it,
a
right,
trial.
exactly.
But for your average everyday hearing, I can either do it on the phone. I can get another attorney in there for me. It's not a problem. I've got connections with other foreclosure attorneys all over the state. We all work.
They work
hand in
together,
hand.
yeah.
We're a good we're a good support network for one another. We share cases, we share strategies. We know we're in it together. We know that we're all small firms for the most part. But if we all band together and we all work together, then we've got the power of a big firm.
Yes.
And when you've got that, you've got the sum being greater. The sum being greater. The whole being greater than the sum of its parts. That's it.
We were talking about this before. I think it's so important. Someone's sitting here listening to the show right now, thinking about having to foreclose, doesn't have a lot of money, What do you do in that case? Someone comes to you.
No problem. We put people on payment plans.
Good.
I understand that if you had a lot of money, you probably wouldn't be in this situation. We're happy to work out our fees with our clients.
Which is very important for people. Now they would come to you because of that.
Look, I'll tell you, if you come in and you say, I can't pay you anything, there's not much I can do. You come in and say, and I look at it and they say, this is what I've got. This is what I can afford to pay you to work on the case. If I think it's a good case, I'll work with you on it. For our clients, we set you up on an automatic recurring debit card or credit card transaction. The first of the month, this much money is going to come out of your account every month until either the foreclosure case is over or a flat fee is due, depending on what we're doing. We work with our clients. We're not, we're not here to get a pound of flesh. We're here, obviously, to pay our bills. But,
I like that terminology.
Right.
Yes.
We're here to help people. We understand that we need to work on a payment plan. And I'll tell you, that was one thing that worked out very well when foreclosure cases took a very long time. I can make that up. But, I have a lot of these old cases that languished around that my clients fell behind on their payments, and I could have withdrawn. I didn't. I don't know if I should advertise that. In fact, now I'm taking the cases to trial, and I'm winning.
Which is truly amazing. It really is.
I love it. There's nothing that feels that good. Especially when you, not so much winning and have the judge say, motion for involuntary dismissal is granted. That feels good. I enjoy it. I won. When I walk downstairs and I get out in front of the courthouse, the very first thing I do is I pull out my cell phone and I call my client and I say, we won. And, that reaction makes everything I do worthwhile. Makes the long days worth it. Because now I've given somebody that second chance, whether they just need to stay in the house, whether they now have the time to work on the loan modification. We now have a little leverage to get that done because the bank knows it's going to take another couple of years before they get back to where they were today.
Right.
I know I can help my clients. Give us a call, 954-596-0669. If you can't get one of the attorneys on the phone, it means we're in court. Don't be shy. Set up an appointment for a free consultation. My staff is trained to do that. Visit us on the web, www.bilulaw.com.
Go to their website.
Absolutely.
So much great information on there. And I was thinking, when I first talked to Gil, he said, we do a lot of litigation. Whenever I call him, he's always in court. So it really was true.
He's
litigating.
5 days this week I've been in court.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's
no
impressive
question about it.
Thanks for having me. We want to wish you a happy new year, too.
Happy and healthy new year,
Shout out to Vav and Metukata, you guys as well.
I love it.
Multilingual.
Love it.
Spanish, Hebrew. We're
Join
all
us
over it.
Monday, same time. We have a great home care company going to be on with us, and we have a family psychologist, Dr. Laura, will be on Monday.
Right.
So join us then. Everybody have a wonderful
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Peace and love.
We're out.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show.